We welcome you back to the Kreger Center on the campus of Division III Roanoke College. It is day 2 of the Division III Volleyball National Tournament. Our first semifinal match features 6th seed Wisconsin-Whitewater and 2 seed Johns Hopkins. The starters for Stacy Boudreau and Wisconsin-Whitewater, Hannah Proctor. Jaden Evans is the libero. We talked about Elena Jansky earlier, Jenna Weinfurt, Chloe Werner, Aubrey Cruz is the setter, and then Abby Dix, the top blocker for a single season in program history. For the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins out of Baltimore, Maryland, Nicole Tuzinski is the freshman libero, and then Kate Danaher will set. Jillian Widener had a great match on Wednesday. Alice Hughes, Simran Carlson, Simone Adam, and Brooklyn Pater. We are underway here from Salem, Virginia. Great to have you with us from the Kreger Center. Wisconsin-Whitewater in the purple. The light blue for Johns Hopkins. That is Simone Adam with the kill to start things here today for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have won 24 consecutive matches. That is the second longest win streak in program history. It's also the second longest active win streak in D3, behind only Juniata. Poor serve receive for Jansky. Free ball coming to the Blue Jays. It's set by Danaher, sets up Yu in the middle. Out of system swing for Chloe Werner. Quick set to Yu, and she drops it through. The junior out of San Diego, Alice Yu.
Well, already we're seeing a little change in this performance for UW-Whitewater. Yesterday they came out on fire in serve receive, and blocking was an early way they established their dominance.
Early hole here for the Warhawks of Wisconsin-Whitewater. The upset against Emory on Wednesday to get here. They have won 14 in a row, 30 wins this year, and they collect their first point here in the semifinals. This is their first 30-win season since 2015. Debbie, your key today for Wisconsin-Whitewater?
I think they have to incorporate a great blocking scheme for each rotation. Last night, the middles only got 8 of the 72 kills for Johns Hopkins. So I really think with such a great blocking team, Wisconsin-Whitewater needs to be letting the middles go. Moderately out of system, let the middles go, and then commit to the priority attacker at the pins.
Wisconsin-Whitewater, the best blocking team statistically this year at Division III. Somehow that snuck inside the antenna, but then it's punched through by Jenna Weinfurt. And after a slow start, Wisconsin-Whitewater has scored 3 in a row. This is the first ever matchup between these two programs. They are not really familiar with each other all that much. In fact, for Stacy Boudreau, she was probably hoping that they were going to play Wisconsin-Oshkosh because it would have been a much easier scout going into this one for the Warhawks. Their conference rival almost got here, but fell in 5 sets against Johns Hopkins. And Debbie, let's take a look at our key today for the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins.
They absolutely have to serve tough and get Cruz on the move. Yesterday, the passers and defense put most balls right on Cruz at the net, where she could run a lethal offense in the 6-2 rotations, and then she's a threat in the 5-1 rotations. So getting her off the net will lessen the impact of the middles and allow for better defense against those left side hitters.
Spectacular swing there for Jillian Widener, and she really impressed us on Wednesday, Debbie, didn't she?
She did, and she lived up to, she was as advertised, and they had several athletes who lived up to expectations in such a critical match.
It was a team-high 20 kills on Wednesday for Widener, the transfer from Division I Brown. Pinballs around, free ball to cross by Jaden Evans. Swap the setter, sets up Simran Carlson, who tools the block. Debbie, you brought up a really good point before we got on the air today. For Johns Hopkins, this is the only team left that runs a 6-2 system.
Yeah, and you know, that creates a lot of pressure for the opposing defense because you've always got 3 attackers on the front row. So the way that you try to minimize some of that is you always have if you're the opponent, there's always a back row setter for Hopkins. So I think one good tactic is trying to make the setter play the first ball, and then you get that team a little bit out of system.
Blue Jays go ahead by 2 on serve. Helena Swak will serve for Johns Hopkins. Serves it to Evans. Backside, right side for Swafford. And the point goes to the Warhawks as it hits Swafford on the way down.
Already, Hopkins is getting a little taste of what this block can be like. Swafford had a great day yesterday.
It's a school record this year in blocks for the Warhawks. They have a school record 343.5 this year. Boy, Blue Jays, that's 3.1%. That leads the country. Their best blocker is Abby Dix, who has a school record 165 for the year. But it's more than just Dix. Cruz can really block at the center position. Proctor is a really good blocker, one of the best in the country as well.
I think Cruz is one of the most notable pieces because often when you're running a 5-1, you have a little bit undersized setter who can be a blocking liability, but not in the case of Cruz.
Second kill for Simone Adam, the junior from Menlo Park in California. Long front set by Cruz, sets up Jansky, and she's blocked on the tip. Debbie Jansky was really good early on Wednesday for Wisconsin-Whitewater. A little quiet early on here today.
And maybe that's because they anticipate that she was the scout. And so, you know, sometimes if you can open up some other hitters first and then come back to that attacker later, it works better for your system.
Slide play for Dix, on the money there from Cruz. Dix only had 6 kills, but had 4 blocks on Wednesday. She averages under 2 kills per set, but they go to the slide, and it works for the Warhawks. Riley Braunschweig comes in to serve. Serves it to the freshman libero, Nicole Tuzinski, who was really busy in the quarterfinals. Dump play for Cruz, slapped up in the air by Simone Adam. Adam will attack, lunging dig for Weinfertz. Jansky off speed, blocked again. She can block twice.
You mentioned how busy Tuzinski was. She had 32 digs in that quarterfinal match.
Now she was blocked, but there was a net violation called on Johns Hopkins. So the Warhawks will get the point. 2-point advantage for the Blue Jays. Swafford is blocked. Big swing for the setter. That's Aubrey Cruz, 6'2" sophomore setter.
She's just got the length to be able to handle this situation, and you know that there's no way the defense is ready for it. It's such a fast transition. So smart to take that in 2.
Cruz averages a kill per set, which is a really high number for a setter. Also has 98 blocks this year. Adam cross court, that violation called on the Warhawks of Wisconsin-Whitewater. It was called on Hannah Proctor.
I mentioned it yesterday, but you know, one of the risks with being such an aggressive blocking team is you are going to get that occasional blocking error, and I think they can live with that when they're blocking over 3 blocks a set.
Cruz sets up Jansky. Her first kill today. And that was what we saw yesterday for Jansky. Not many tips, not much off speed. A lot of power for that outside lefty antenna.
A lot of power, but I assure you she'll use this power right now, and then she'll set up the off speed later on when she gets the defense sitting back on their heels.
Quick set goes to you. So Johns Hopkins setting up you a little bit in the middle. Only averages 1.2 kills per set. She already has a pair.
Well, I think Wisconsin-Whitewater did exactly what I would have done, and I think that they're kind of letting the middles go and favoring one or the other of the pins, and you just made them pay for that. You know, perfectly in system, you're still going to have to honor those middles.
Carlson and Adam, and also Widener getting a lot of help right now from you. Lead is 2 for the Blue Jays. Cruz in the middle for Proctor. No touch, out of bounds. He throws to 3 for the 2 seed out of Baltimore, Maryland, Johns Hopkins. Blue Jays looking for their 2nd national title. That will help. That's an ace. Trying to get back to the championship match for the first time since 2019. Meanwhile, the Warhawks with a pair of national titles, but it's been a while. 02 and 05, their two national championships. Overpass swing for Proctor off the body of Simone Adam. Point goes to Wisconsin-Whitewater. Really good pace to this match right now. Jansky serves it to Tuzinski. One-handed set by Danaher. Cruz the front set. Weinfurt unleashes. Here come the Warhawks.
Well, so far the Warhawks have done a great job when they get those opportunities, whether they're overpasses or free balls, easy balls. They've struggled a little bit in serve-receive, which we didn't see yesterday, but I think that's the tougher serving from Johns Hopkins.
There we see Adam out of the middle. Warner denied. Yu was right there. Bump set by Evans. Weinfurt turned away, and then Proctor sends it away. Side out Blue Jays. Wisconsin-Whitewater has won 14 sets in a row. Meanwhile, Johns Hopkins had won 21 straight sets before losing set 2 yesterday against Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Blue Jays look awfully good right now with that block. That was Yu, number 18, and Carlson, number 19 on the far antenna. And the lead grows to 4 early on for the 2-seed Blue Jays. Our first of 2 semifinal matches from Salem. Adam Young and Debbie Hendricks back with you from Salem, the Kreger Center. We are down to 4 teams left here in the national tournament at Division III. Johns Hopkins looking really sharp early on, trying to get back to the championship. Free ball from Danaher. Blue Jays are hitting .467, only one attack there. And Debbie, their block has been there much better than Wednesday.
I think they've done everything better than Wednesday, and maybe they just had to get through that first quarterfinal match and get the monkey off their back, as you said. Yeah, but this is just really disciplined blocking.
They look pretty fresh, despite playing 5 sets. A long match on Wednesday for the Blue Jays. That time, Werner will use the block. That match for Johns Hopkins against Wisconsin-Oshkosh in the quarterfinals. There were 46 ties, 13 lead changes. It was back and forth, and UW-Oshkosh did not deserve to lose that one. Both teams deserved to win. But unfortunately, one team had to go home. Widener denied, but there is a net violation. That's 2 early on in this match on the Warhawks.
You just haven't seen the crispness that you saw yesterday in the Wisconsin-Whitewater game. They've been a little sloppy in serve-receive. They've been a little sloppy at the net. They've got to settle down and just get back to that sharper play.
Great start for you. A really good serve right there by her. One-handed lunging dig for you. Big block on the far side. There's that Warhawks block, the top in Division III. Werner alongside Dix. Dix with 166 this year. That is a school record.
Well, and this is one of the things they did yesterday with Emery to really intimidate attackers, was getting these types of blocks straight down. Does make a hitter think the next time they go to swing.
Oh, that misses by inches. Good decision there by the freshman libero, Tuzinski. She was a little bit indecisive at first, Debbie, but let it go.
We've commented multiple times about Tuzinski and how she doesn't play like a freshman, and yet we did see yesterday she struggled a little bit in serve-receive late in the 4th set, early 5th set. So I'm not going to be surprised at all if UWW doesn't go after her a little bit in serve-receive and see if she's got freshman nerves again.
Another block for the Blue Jays. Brooklyn Pater, Ivy Swafford on the block combo.
Well, it's almost been role reversal here. Both teams blocking well, but I think Johns Hopkins has had the upper hand.
Giving the Warhawks a taste of their own medicine here in set 1. Big lead of 6 for the Blue Jays. Slide play for Dix off the block. Kept up by Roxy Carr. Right side for Swafford. Good dig by Jaden Evans, the D2 Central Oklahoma transfer. Danaher in the middle. Check that. Swak in the middle. Setting up Peter for the kill.
The advantage in that rally came early in the rally when Johns Hopkins got that slow on the block, gave the defense an opportunity to transition. They didn't put the ball away right then, but they had the upper hand in the rally from that point on. And that's one of the things that, we see in the stat category, blocks that are down. But there's other blocking that is creating opportunities for your team, and those unfortunately don't get a stat.
When you get to this point of the season, both teams will have a great record, and that's no different here. The Warhawks are 30-3, Blue Jays 33-2. For the Blue Jays, they haven't lost since September 21st. That was a 4-setter against MIT. Meanwhile, the Warhawks haven't dropped a match since October 16th. They lost that one in 5 sets against Wisconsin-Stevens Point. So it's been a while since these two programs have lost a match, and as expected here today, it's high-level volleyball here in the semis.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think at this point they're focused on how much winning they've done. They're really just playing to advance, and I heard several comments in the press conferences last night about one match at a time, 1 point at a time, one match at a time, and I guarantee you their heads are clearly in this gym, and they don't care about what's happened up to this point.
Unofficially, 5 blocks already for Johns Hopkins, playing against the team that leads the country in blocks for the year. It's a big reason why they lead by 7. There you see the difference. 5 blocks for Johns Hopkins, only 2 for the Warhawks.
I think we just saw a service ace, but we've also seen some of the passing breakdown for the Warhawks, and I think that's part of the reason that Johns Hopkins has been able to put up a good block. As soon as a team's out of system, you can double up on their best hitter.
Good serve again by Swak. Hit by Dix on the slide. Swak on the outside for Simran Carlson. She is steady, consistent all season long for Johns Hopkins.
Well, and what I love about her is she's just so complete. When you're leading your team in digs to go along with being one of the top attackers, she's committed to her entire game.
Another timeout for Stacy Boudreau, just trying to get the rhythm back for the Warhawks and silence this red-hot 2-seed right now, Johns Hopkins. They lead by 9. A lot of people probably said or felt that yesterday Wisconsin-Whitewater had the most dominant performance of anybody in those 4 matches in the quarterfinals, but things can change quickly, and right now a Blue Jays squad that had to grind out a 5-set win looks as good as anybody's looked so far this week here in Salem.
I thought that Wisconsin-Whitewater played nearly flawless yesterday, and sometimes that's hard to replicate. And I think they're running into a little bit more of an aggressive serving team, and that's giving them some trouble. A good blocking team, and that's giving them some trouble. So, it's hard to do what they did yesterday back-to-back days.
UW-Whitewater, 2-time national champs, 2002 and 2005. 2005, that was year 1 for Stacy Boudreau as the head coach. They also made it to the championship in 2007. Lost in the finals that year. Cruz trying to attack, and the Blue Jays had 2 blockers in front of her. The dig by Carr. Swak on the left side for Carlson. She's rejected. Bump set by Tuzinski. The kill for Swafford, who had some really good moments for the Blue Jays in the quarterfinals.
Swafford saw a lot more seam and open net yesterday. She's seeing 4 big hands right now, and that's the way you've got to approach that. Use the block.
Warhawks continue to go back to the slide with Dix on that right side. Hasn't worked 2 straight times. Swafford, a good swing again. Weinfurt will slap it across to Tuzinski. Carlson out of the reach of Chansky into the seats. Set point Blue Jays in a very impressive opening set for them here in the semis.
They've come out in this set the way that Wisconsin-Whitewater came out yesterday, really hitting on all cylinders.
Pass by Evans, left side for Weinfurt. And the Blue Jays reject it again. Well, in the quarterfinals, Wisconsin-Whitewater beat Emory by 12 in set 1. Wisconsin-Whitewater loses by 12 in set 1 here tonight. We go to set 2 from Salem. Quality first set for Johns Hopkins, making the trip this week to Salem from Baltimore, Maryland. Out of the Centennial Conference, 33 wins this year for the Blue Jays. They had to grind out a 5-set win in the quarterfinals. Matt Troy, their head coach, is all smiles after a very impressive 12-point win in set 1. They are loose. The block's been good so far for the Blue Jays, and it's been a bunch of different players in on those blocks here today for Johns Hopkins. Debbie.
Well, I talked about blocking scheme for Wisconsin-Whitewater, but it's really been Johns Hopkins who's done a better job. You're seeing that form double block. They are committing early, getting shoulder to shoulder, getting hands over the net. It's just really disciplined mechanically blocking.
2+ block assists for Swafford, Widener, Yu, and Pater. How about the play of Yu? 2 kills, 3 blocks, had a dig as well. I mean, she is not somebody that you talk about a lot when you talk about the Blue Jays because they have so many All-Americans. Probably gets overshadowed a bit, but during that first set, she was one of the best players on the floor.
Well, and I think for the most part, what you saw from her yesterday was she's a good blocking presence, but she's been an offensive presence today as well. But that's also, I think, good tactic is going with an attacker who you know the opponent's not really looking at.
Kate Danaher will serve to start set 2 for Hopkins. One of 2 Division I transfers in this year for Matt Troy. They came from the same school. They came from Brown. That's an ace for Danaher, her 23rd of the year. She has been a really nice addition this year.
You know, there was an 8-point run by Johns Hopkins to finish that last set, and I really felt like it was 2 things. It was their blocking and it was their serving, and they've really done those 2 well, and if you do those 2 well and you're even remotely in system yourself, you're winning.
That was an emotional swing there by Jansky. Just unleashes for the first point for the Warhawks here in set number 2. She was quiet in set 1. Trying to get rolling here in set 2 for UW-Whitewater. Kuzinski passes on serve receive. The slide for you. No touch, out of bounds, attack air.
I like that swing, though. I mean, she missed it by inches. I don't think Wisconsin-Whitewater was defending it that well. I think they gave her lines, so, you know, they maybe look at that again later.
Shanked away by Carlson. Free ball from Widener. It goes to Proctor. Right back to Proctor with the tip. Kuzinski late to get there. Kill number 2 for Hannah Proctor.
This is just a very well-placed off-speed ball. Even if she gets this up, there's not going to be, it's really hard to bring that back into the court.
That's an ace for Braunschweig, the sophomore from Wisconsin, her 25th.
So until everything else falls into a rhythm for the Warhawks, I really think if they can just be very aggressive back there serving, they're going to look at a different Johns Hopkins offense.
Widener terminates, side out Blue Jays. It's just a 4th swing for Widener. She didn't have to do much in that first set for the Blue Jays, her 3rd kill.
And I think that was intentional. I think that was actually the plan, and I think you'll see more and more of her as the match goes on.
There's a lot on her shoulders on Wednesday in the quarterfinals. Had a team-high 20 kills, hit .410 in the match. Roll by Jansky, rolls it right into the block. Widener and Yu on the far antenna.
I don't know that these attackers are getting to a look at a single block very often. They're doubled up almost every time. It's just a great job by Yu getting out there and closing that block. No seam available.
Cruz on the slide play for Proctor. Pinballs around. Carlson will tip it. Here's Evans, the overhead bump set to Jansky. Wide right with her attack. She's telling her head coach, Stacy Boudreau, there should have been a touch, and the officials will call a touch on the Blue Jays. Also a net violation, it seemed like, as well.
I think they got a net violation on Widener.
Jansky wanted a touch. There was a net violation as well. UW-Whitewater back up 2. Widener on the right. Kept up by Weinfurt. Here is Werner. Too long. No touch. More confusion for the Warhawks, looking for a touch again.
Well, the line judge on their side called touch initially. So I don't know if that was overruled.
Stacy Boudreau will not challenge. You with the serve. Tough to handle there for Weinfurt. Back row tip. Can't get over there for Weinfurt. 4 touches on the Warhawks. 5-5 here in set 2.
They didn't spend much time out of system yesterday, so they didn't get into an out. You know, you have to have a good out of system game too, and they were in system most of the match, so they're struggling a little bit with the out of system rhythm.
On the serve, number 11, Alina Zminski.
Two teams exchange service airs. Jansky with the air for UW-Whitewater. Subs coming in for the Blue Jays. Alina Swak will come in. She will set and also serve right now. Junior from McLean, Virginia. In-state product for the Blue Jays. Proctor goes around the 2 blockers. Right now the Warhawks trying to get some offense from somebody outside of Jansky. Jansky still quiet, and Proctor stepping up here.
And this is the way to do it. Just use the block. She actually had that seam. They haven't seen too many of those.
Dump play by Swak. Free ball for Werner. And now a free ball by Carlson, and it catches the Warhawks off guard. The Warhawks brought in their second libero. That is Peyton Keepers. Her first to action here today. You can have 2 liberos play in a set. That's one of the rule changes this year. So you have 2 available liberos, and Keepers was late to get to it.
That's a missed opportunity. That was a free ball. Can't squander those.
You have 2 available liberos, but of course the liberos cannot be on the floor at the same time. But the rule before was you could not change liberos during a set. Point goes to UW-Whitewater.
In the game and taking the serve, number 1, Allie Lawson.
Warhawks missing one of their better servers so far this week. Emma Bludgeon's been sick, unavailable so far this week for the Warhawks. That's an ace. That'll work for Allie Longden, the senior from Wisconsin, her 29th ace of the year.
You know, they bring her in to play, you know, for the right side, and she's a valuable weapon on defense. But I tell you what, if she could put some good serving together here, get the team on a run, that'd be huge.
Good up there by Carlson to keep it alive. Adams swings again. Dug out in, controlled by Jansky. Weinfurt, one-handed dig for Tuzinski. Great hustle shown by Adam. Near press row, trying to grab it, could not do so.
So that was a good serve to get things rolling, and then that's the system offense that we saw yesterday. You know, great defensive transition. When they're taking those kinds of swings, that's a different Wisconsin-Whitewater team.
Short serve, a little bit too short there for Longden, the Pewaukee, Wisconsin native. Gives one back to the Blue Jays. They're within 2. Stacy Boudreau, the veteran head coach for UW-Whitewater. 500-plus career wins. Cruised the front set, off speed from Weinfurt, dug out by Tuzinski. 2 and a block is Swafford.
That's what makes Tuzinski so important for this team. You know, she doesn't just dig the ball. She digs the ball to target so they can run their system offense. And she makes this look easy, getting her setter into a position to set anybody she wants.
Out of system, Weinfurt in. Wow. Able to bury it inside that back line on a tough ball to handle. Weinfurt had 12 kills in the quarterfinals, but more importantly, 0 attack errors. 12 kills, no errors yesterday. Swak, off speed there from Adam. Took something off it, and it works just behind the 10-foot line.
You know, that's pretty incredible for Weinfurt when you're on left side. You know, middles can sometimes go through a match and not err, but when you're left side and you don't make any errors, that's a special performance.
Pass by Longden, slide play for Dix. Too far out of the reach of Carlson. Second time today that slide has worked for Dix. We did not see that a ton yesterday for the Warhawks. We've seen that a handful of times here in the first 2 sets.
She hits that shot really well. We talk so much about her blocking and not enough about her offense, because she really does run that slide well.
You on the slide, looking for a response. Too deep. Johns Hopkins hit 407 in set 1. They've struggled offensively here in set 2. Overhand handle there for Adam. Bump set goes left side for Widener. Controlled dig for Weinfurt. Tough angle there for Jansky. Lunging handle by Tuzinski. Adam, did she get a touch? She did, down the near line. Good start today for Simone Adam. That was her 4th kill, her 8th attack, 0 errors. Talking there with her head coach, Matt Troy. Sliding handle for Weinfurt, who has passed it well. And that ball goes out of bounds. Barely, the Blue Jays almost kept it in. Another hard, aggressive swing for Jansky.
That was a really nice tempo ball by Cruz, and I think that's one of the things they were able to do yesterday when they were getting that first good ball contact. That will create more seams, more one-on-one situations for the attackers.
The serve from Cruz, near line to Carlson, who gets it back, tips it over the 2 blockers. Jansky will attack, rolls it. Hitting a hand on it is Danaher. Widener for the right will pound it off the block.
And that's just overpowering the block. I don't think she had any room, any gap in the block, and she didn't try to tool it. She just overpowered.
Do you like her the most on the opposite side, Debbie, on that right antenna?
I do. I mean, that's where her strength is, you know, and she does swing from the left in the one rotation she's over there for serve receive. But, and I think that's what makes this team go, is they have such a strong right side presence. Both she and Swafford are really solid contributors offensively, and when you've got 4 pins that can put the ball away, it really stretches the block.
Widener and now Carlson. Back-to-back kills for the Blue Jays to pull within 1.
And this is part of the reason that you don't need your middles to perform that much or give you that many kills, because you can see there that seam was created because the block is stretched.
Chloe Werner terminates, side out for the Warhawks, and we'll go to a media. A tight set 2. Johns Hopkins controlled set 1. Winner plays in the championship Saturday here in Salem. Our first of 2 semifinal matches here tonight. Coming up next, Hope and Juniata. A rematch of the championship match a year ago. They're meeting in the national tournament for a 3rd straight year. Should be a good one. The 4-1 matchup coming up later tonight at 7:30 Eastern from Salem. Point goes to the Warhawks. They go ahead by 3. UW-Whitewater, Debbie, in set 1, they only hit 050. They're hitting 313, a whole lot better in set 2.
Well, they're passing much better. They're also serving tougher and creating more opportunities on their side of the floor, like this right here.
Good swing by Werner. Carlson able to save it. Carr with the free ball to Evans. Tough set for Cruz. Swing by Weinfurt. Widener attacks, blocked away. Slapped across by Carr. Set to the middle to Proctor.
I thought Wisconsin-Whitewater did such a nice job as attacking as a team by being patient. You know, if they didn't have the ball they could put away, they didn't err, and then they waited for that right opportunity, and here it is right here. That one-on-one situation that hasn't been happening a lot, but they're much more in system right now.
Looks like we'll get a challenge here from Matt Troy, the Blue Jays head coach.
I believe he's going to be challenging whether Cruz was in the net earlier in the rally when she saved the tight ball, and it was close. I was wondering that myself. She did a really nice job getting that ball out to her hitter, but it was in the middle of the rally.
Each head coach gets 2 challenges. If you win the challenge, you get to keep it. You get an additional if you go to a 5th set, but you can't carry more than 2 into the 5th. This is a big point here in set 2 because things are slipping away here in this set for the Blue Jays right now.
And you know, I'm thinking about it, they might be looking at the last swing too, because that ball was a little tight to the middle. So I think they've got a couple of the potential net calls, and we're not down there to hear which one they're evaluating.
The call is in from the officials.
So her ponytail caught it, but no part of her body caught it.
Point Warhawks. Matt Troy will lose that challenge.
I'll tell you, I've seen this before just recently, and I think it's one of those things at game speed. As a coach, you can't tell the difference between a ponytail and a body part.
Service there for a frustrated Elena Jansky.
Well, that's uncharacteristic of her. You know, you just won that point, and they lost the challenge, and you just want to put that ball in play, and you're playing good defense. Give it a chance to go.
Blue Jays trying to pull within 2 here in set 2. They dominated set 1 tonight. Side out for the Warhawks, Jenna Whiteford. That's her 6th kill. She's had a lot of swings, 17, by far the most here today for the Warhawks.
Yeah, she's definitely heating up. That's a positive sign for the Warhawks because it is their left sides that carry them. They score the majority of their points.
That's a big block in front of Carlson. This is Keepers, the libero now for the Warhawks. High free ball from Jansky. Tuzinski, Swak, Carlson. Over the block, no touch.
I actually like that free ball. You know, too much time to think about it.
We've seen that a few times from different players during the course of the week. Just popping it high in the air. Tuzinski, a lunging handle. A push, out of bounds for Carlson. So 2 straight attack errors for Simran Carlson, who's hitting .291 for the year.
Well, Johns Hopkins has become frustrated. They're not passing the ball that well. I do really think it's because of the Warhawks' tougher serving.
Keepers with the ace. Keepers off the bench wearing that white libero shirt. He's been used a little bit here tonight, along with Evans, the starting libero, and Keepers with a huge ace. Senior out of Lakeside Lutheran High School in Madison, Wisconsin. Blue Jays all out of sorts. Free ball from Carlson. Jansky came up to get it. Weinfurt will have to get it over. An over set. Played by Weinfurt. Swak to Carlson. Rolls it into the block. Right side for Swafford. Good recovery by Jansky. Werner the tip. Tuzinski gets to it. Swafford denied. Punched over by Pater. Weinfurt out of the reach of Tuzinski.
This is definitely looking like the Warhawks team we saw yesterday. And,
yeah.
You know, I think the message might have been when they changed sides between sets 1 and 2. Hey, we've got to serve tougher. We've got to pass better. So much of the game comes down to serve and pass, and the Warhawks came out flat in that regard.
How different these 2 sets have been so far. Johns Hopkins dominates set 1. They win by 12. And now the Warhawks with a big lead of 8 here in set 2.
This was a great rally. Both sides playing incredible defense. And you just watch how hard Dix works. I just enjoyed her in that rally because she gets in and makes herself available every single time. And longer rallies, they absolutely destroy middles. So exhausting, but she's one of those types of middles that's always working hard in transition.
Hitting percentage for both has really changed from one set to the next. Look at UW-Whitewater, 050 in set 1, 391 in set 2, and then Johns Hopkins over 400 in set 1, below 100 in set 2.
Well, I was going to oversimplify, my comments about the keys, and it was really these teams are both so good offensively. It was going to boil down to serve and pass. And we talk about serve and pass at the fundamental level, and they talk about it all the way up to the Olympic level. But the team who can be the best overall tonight, the body of work is the best in serve and pass, is going to win. And it's been reflected so far in this match.
Blue Jays for the year, they're hitting .321, which is spectacular. It is first in the country at Division III. Hit .324, their win in the quarterfinals. UW-Whitewater, a very respectable .286 hitting percentage for the year. We'll see if the Blue Jays can make a run here in set 2. Right now they lead 1-0. Weinfurt won't let up. She's been the go-to attacker here tonight for the Warhawks. Jenna Weinfurt out of Waukesha in Wisconsin. She's a grad student. Honorable mention All-American this year. Longden comes in to serve. Serves it to Tuzinski. Rolled by Adam. One-handed dig for Weinfurt. And a free ball coming across by Dix. Double contact.
Yeah, as we've commented on, that double on the second contact on your side of the floor has gone away. But anytime you're taking the ball over, it has to be clean.
Cruz will attack on 2. Attacks again. You in the middle. Weinfurt sneaks it inside the block. A big first 2 sets for Weinfurt. Set point for UW-Whitewater.
That's crazy what Cruz just did. I mean, she was just trying to keep the ball in play, and she set a perfectly hittable ball.
Weinfurt, a good serve to Adam. Swing by Swafford. Cruz will attack again. 2 blockers there for the Blue Jays. Left side, Jansky. Kill number 6 for her. A lopsided set 2 in the other direction. We're tied at 1 set apiece. Well, we thought this would be close, Debbie, but both sets have been controlled by one team so far.
And they have very different offenses. For Wisconsin-Whitewater, they're very left side driven. There is more balance, but it's still very pin driven for Johns Hopkins. But the bottom line is, for both of them, even if their best attackers are on the pins, they're not their best when they're swinging out of system. And so, right now they've each won the set that they were the best in serve and pass in.
Johns Hopkins head coach Matt Troy is with us. Coach Adam Young and Debbie Hendricks with you. How do you get back to what you were doing well in set 1 here tonight?
I think we just got to get a good first contact. I think right now we're getting a little bit out of system, and we're just having a hard time putting some pressure on them.
Coach, is it boiling down to the serve and pass game in this match?
I'd say absolutely, yeah.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much. Good luck in set 3.
Thank you.
Matt Troy, the head coach for 2-seed Johns Hopkins, joining us. They won set 1. Warhawks win set 2. Intermission comes up next. Welcome back to Salem. Stacy Boudreau, the head coach of the Warhawks, with us. Adam Young and Debbie Hendricks with you. Coach, a very impressive set 2 win for your squad. What impressed you the most about your team's play in set 2?
I think that they were just able to come back with confidence. We got beat up pretty bad the first set, and I think just taking a little bit of time, being able to read their serves a little bit better and keeping us in system. Our setter doing a better job of pushing that ball all the way to the pin, so our outsides were able to swing line. But just overall, I think just the confidence and just determination to come back.
Coach, your outsides are firing. Both of them are on all cylinders. Is there anyone else that you really need to step up to be able to win this match?
Yeah, I think everybody. I think we need Chloe Warner to keep swinging on the right side. I think our middles are working hard in transition, and so us being able to hit them. I think Hannah Proctor had a monster kill there that really gave us a lot of momentum in the middle of that set. So I think we just need everybody to continue to step up, and we need to continue to bring a consistent serve receive and keeping aggressive with our serves to get them out of system to slow that offense down a little bit too.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck in set 3.
All right, thanks.
Once again, we thank both head coaches, Matt Troy and Stacy Boudreau, for taking the time during intermission. Match is tied 1 set apiece. Winner goes to the championship 2 days from now. An off day tomorrow. Saturday is the championship match. Who will take set 3? It's been lopsided in the first 2, and that's a good start in the third for the Blue Jays. Off the right arm of Jillian Widener. That's the 5th kill for Widener. After 20 in the quarterfinal. 0 errors here tonight for the transfer from Division I Brown in her lone year in the program. Widener again, off the block and down. So 2 straight for Widener. She scores in bunches offensively, Debbie.
She does seem to, and I appreciated it, Coach Boudreau's comment about getting the middles involved. I really do think, in particular, that Proctor's been a little more involved. I think they could get Dix a little. She's working so hard in transition, and I know she just took that slide swing that didn't score, but I'd sure like to see in system them use her just a little bit more.
That's ace number 4 for the Blue Jays. Only 1 service error. They lead 3-0. Overpass, tip kill on the overpass for you. This is a game of runs right now. First it was Johns Hopkins, then it was UW-Whitewater. Momentum back for the Blue Jays. Passed by Evans. Swing left side for Weinfurt. The top attacker tonight for the Warhawks. Off speed from Adam. Here's Weinfurt again with a good approach. Set by Danaher. She sets up Adam. 5-zip Blue Jays.
So Weinfurt is looking to go down the line, but Johns Hopkins is fully committed to that. They're running a rotation defense and getting to the line. So that means for her, area 6, the middle back area of the floor is open.
Great serves as well by Carlson during this run. Carlson can't get to it. Weinfurt, another kill. She's in double figures already with 10.
They are really committed to her line. I mean, they are standing on the line. I'm sure she can see that area 6. It's a matter of if she can get over the block to it.
Weinfurt will serve. Team best 42 aces for the year. Overhand handle for Tuzinski. Adam is blocked off the net, and Widener can't scoop it up. I think Widener's saying it was never down. The fans reacted as well, and now Matt Troy is going to come over and challenge potentially. Yep, he will. Widener was adamant that the ball never touched the floor.
Well, just remember, if any part of the ball touched the floor, even if 95% of it is, they're under it, if any part of it touches the floor, then the ball is down. So they'll have some good angles, I think, to be able to slow it down and see if the ball did actually touch the floor.
And if this call gets overturned, Debbie, we would have a replay of the point, correct?
Yes, because the whistle stopped the play.
Matt Troy does not win this challenge. He's down to 0. He lost one earlier. But you have to trust your players here in this scenario. I think Widener had it before it touched the floor.
Yep, I think so too. I do believe he'll win this challenge. Usually when it's closer is when it's like a full pancake and most of the hand is under the ball, but a little part of the ball touches the floor, but that looks like there's space.
And it wasn't just Widener. The entire Johns Hopkins team on the floor was reacting right away. Everybody saw it, or at least felt the same that Widener did. Slow start here in set 3 for UW-Whitewater. This is a big set for both. Tied at 1 set apiece. First ever matchup between these two programs. UW-Whitewater out of Whitewater, Wisconsin. Johns Hopkins out of Baltimore, Maryland. These two programs trying to get back to the championship match. It's been a while for UW-Whitewater. It's only been a handful of years for Johns Hopkins. The call is in over at the scorer's table. Thumbs up, we'll get a replay. So they will replay the point. And Matt Troy does not lose the challenge. A little bit of a gamble because it would have been his last, but
well, and they took their time with
taking.
they took their time with it, and I think that's probably why they knew he would be out of challenges. But great communication between players and coach when they feel really sure they can win that challenge.
Serve again for Weinfurt. Score is 5-2. Should be 5-1 right now. 5-1 because the point is taken away. There you go. 5-1 the score here in set number 3. Danaher in the middle for you. No touch. Johns Hopkins thought maybe there was one. Yeah, Widener is telling her head coach, I think there was a touch. Debbie, we're going to have back-to-back challenges here.
It's funny. I really enjoy watching Matt Troy. And we heard in the interviews last night that players talk about their mantra being calm confidence. And I really think he's the epitome of that. The players are losing their minds about the no-touch call, and he's just as calm and composed as can be.
So according to the official, it was in or out, but there also could have been a touch there on the block.
Well,
they're challenging in or out, but there could have been a touch.
There was one line judge who called it in, but the line judge down this sideline, the left sideline there, called it out. So that is the line judge that matters since we're talking about this ball being wide. And it's close. If any part of that ball is touching the line, it's close.
Needs to be conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the floor. The call on the floor is out of bounds. Needs to be enough evidence to change it.
We talked about how fast-paced the first set was, and really the second one was pretty smooth too. This third one has been very disjunct. It's, and I think it's important the athletes keep their focus, with all these stoppage of play, that they don't lose focus. And I like that they're loose and they're dancing and those kinds of things, but these can be distractions if you're not aware of that.
Back-to-back challenges for Matt Troy. He only has one left as of now. Will he have 0 left after this challenge? We'll see here in a moment. A lot of people to notify before the official call from the official. Point, UW-Whitewater. So, call will not change. Matt Troy has 0 challenges left.
And the only way he will get one back is if they go 5.
Stacy Boudreau still has 2. Weinfurt will serve it in the net. And part of that is you're standing around just kind of thinking about it for 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I just mentioned that black losing focus, but there's these cardinal sins of, when you don't miss your serve, and that is one of them.
Weinfurt, the team leader in aces, but also the team leader in service errors this year. She defends on serve receive. Bump set by Cruz. Off speed by Jansky. Carlson meets it. Widener attacks cross court. Overpass swing for Adam. Simone Adam, 1,300 plus career kills at Johns Hopkins. They lead by a handful here in set 3. The serve by Yu. Serves it to Longden. Overhead bump set by Evans. Cut shot, Jansky. A little bit too deep.
I thought we were going to have another challenge.
I thought so too. The game is so fast. It is tough to officiate as a line judge, a down official, or an up official. Even when the ball comes right in front of you, that's Dix on the slide.
And I love her on the slide. I think that it's just really hard to set the block on that. And when you're a team that runs a 6-2, you don't look at slide in your own gym that much. And they just have a little trouble finding her and getting the block in the right place. I think they need to run her more.
Backing up is Carlson to pass it. Widener over the blockers. Bounce to the net. Slapped across by the center Cruz. Long front set for Danaher. Good approach for Adam.
She's just been really good today. That complimentary pin hitter. That's an out-of-system swing, so it's tough to hit that sharp an angle with the ball coming from where it did.
Blue Jays hitting .429 in set 3. They were .407 in set 1, but .069 when they dropped set 2. Center kill for Cruz, using her 6'2" size to her advantage.
Strange, it looked like she was indecisive about that one because she dumped it with her right hand and didn't seem confident about it, but it managed to score.
Cruz will serve, the Wheaton, Illinois native, the All-American, first-teamer. Slide play for Pater. And that misses the near line. The pass there by Adam, who gets it back from Swak and then tools the block. A little give and go between Swak and Adam. Adam's having a big day. Her 7th kill, 0 errors on 15 swings.
I definitely think Johns Hopkins is trying to incorporate the middle and some other attacking, but I tell you what, their left sides are just getting it done right now.
High pass by Jansky, who gets it back to Cruz. Backed up by Tuzinski. Carlson goes around the blocker. Shot across by Weinfurt out of bounds near the Blue Jays bench. When Adam and Carlson get rolling, they are hard to beat. Those two players were really good in the quarterfinals. They combined for 33 kills in the quarters. They've been on this stage a bunch. Quarterfinal appearances each of the previous 2 years. Finally got back to the semis this year. Cruz on the backside. Werner gets a touch.
I think it might have come off Tuzinski's foot.
I agree. I think judging by her reaction right there, yeah.
And she, you know, you're taught to put your foot on the line for that, and that's still in.
Carr with the pass. Swing for Carlson. And Weinfurt can't handle the pinball.
What's the tough assignment right now for the Warhawks block is that if you start overcommitting to the left sides because they're tearing you up, well, the right sides are really good too. And then you sprinkle in a little bit of the middles and it's trouble.
The freshman Tuzinski drives it across to Jansky. Weinfurt off the block, and that's tipped in by Proctor, but the point will go to the Blue Jays. Net violation called.
Think they got Proctor.
Stacey Boudreau speaking to the down official about the call. She hasn't challenged anything yet. We might see one here. She will challenge that her player was not in the net.
It didn't look like it from here. Now, I was mostly watching Proctor, but it didn't look like either one of them were in the net.
Those first 2 sets were cruising right along, right? I mean, we didn't have any challenges. We only had one, but it was consistent play, and now it's been a little bit stop and go here in set number 3.
Well, and regardless of the outcome, I just think this gives Coach Boudreau a chance to talk to her team a little bit. You know, maybe put something new in.
If this benefits anybody right now, this stop and go, it might be the Blue Jays because they lead by 7. UW-Whitewater searching for any sort of rhythm. Hard to get it right now. Point goes to the Blue Jays, so Stacey Boudreau will drop a challenge. She's got 1 left. Matt Troy has 0 left.
Well, I guess when they run out of challenges, we'll move things along a little bit faster.
That's why 2's the limit. Werner blocked away. Jansky able to get it across. Danaher. Carlson. Diving dig for Evans. Weinfurt is dug by Carlson. Swafford near line. Wide right, no touch.
I don't know if the ball's not located exactly where Swafford wants it, but yesterday she was just so efficient. She came through at some clutch times, and she just isn't seeming to connect with the setter as well today.
Steered ahead by Tuzinski. You in the middle. Was a big part of the game early on in set 1 for the Blue Jays, and they're getting back to it here in set 3.
And they're running her to the 3 zone here, and the blockers just don't front her, creating that little bit of opportunity for her.
Right side, Werner pushes it away, out of bounds. We'll get to the media timeout. All Blue Jays in the third. Match is tied 1 set apiece. Semifinal number 1 from It's been a match of runs so far in our first semifinal match tonight from Salem, Virginia. Johns Hopkins cruised in set 1. They won by 12. UW-Whitewater won by 9 in set 2, and it's been all Blue Jays here in the third, up 8 after the first media timeout. That will help, though. The Warhawks could really use that dominant block here in set 3, Debbie.
And this ball was set just a little bit tight. We call it a trap, and especially against such a great blocking team who can get those hands way across the net. Good blocking job by the Warhawks.
Only 3 blocks for the Warhawks here today. They average over 3 per set for the year. Off speed from Widener. Pin-to-pin set goes to Weinfurt, and she'll use the arms of Widener for the kill. There's also a net violation right there as well, on Widener. Winner plays in the championship match 2 days from now here in Salem inside the Kreger Center. An off day tomorrow. Tip out of the middle for Carlson. Free ball from the long den of UW-Whitewater. Right side Widener out of the reach of Evans.
I've been kind of waiting for a little more of the right side. I mean, the left side attackers have been so good between Carlson and Adam. It's hard to go away from the hot hands, but mixing things up like this, like I said, it really stretches the block, and you can see they didn't get that block closed.
Now Stacy Boudreau will call a timeout on the Wisconsin-Whitewater bench. Long winning streaks for both programs. UW-Whitewater has won 14 in a row. They're coming off 4 straight sweeps. They won't get that today, though. 13 of their 14 wins during this streak have come in 3 sets. Meanwhile, for the Blue Jays, they have won 24 in a row, 18 sweeps during this win streak. The second longest win streak in program history. This is a program that a couple years ago, they won 66 matches in a row, going back to that 2019 national championship year. They did not play in 2020. Then they went 31-1 in 2021. They won 66 in a row. Now, Juniata, who we're going to see later on tonight, they've won 95 in a row, but 66 is quite impressive.
I mean, these are streaks that are just hard to wrap your head around. You're talking about nearly 3 years for Juniata since they've lost a match. And, you know, a 66-match win streak is nearly as impressive. I mean, the amount of stress that you're under with every team bringing their best game against you. You've got this huge target, and to manage that for 3 years is incredible.
There's a look at the best win streaks all time. Wash U out of St. Louis up there. Of course, the Juniata streak. Bates is in that discussion as well. Point goes to the Warhawks on the service error.
Well, we've seen the Warhawks have a couple of untimely service errors, and now there's one for Johns Hopkins. Another one of the Cardinal sins is after a timeout that you forced. Get your serve in.
Weinfurt will drive it across to the Blue Jays. Widener from the right again. This time Evans does get to it. An overset, slapped over by Widener, and a net violation called on UW-Whitewater. Was Dix who was in the net.
You know, we really haven't talked that much about Jaden Evans in this tournament, but you know, she led Division II at Central Oklahoma for back-to-back season in digs, and that's just, you know, an incredible get for this Wisconsin-Whitewater team.
And it might have been one of those finds for Stacy Boudreau at Thanksgiving, Christmas, because Jaden Evans is her niece. And Evans playing her final year collegiately for her aunt, Stacy Boudreau. I'm assuming that's how it goes. You're at Thanksgiving, you're around the table. Hey, you want to play your final year in Whitewater?
Sure, why not?
We need a libero.
For a really good program.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a neat story.
Good numbers here tonight for Jansky, just not the numbers that we saw in the quarterfinals yesterday from her. She's still been good, though. Jansky with the attack, off speed again. Here's Adam on the approach, blocked away by Cruz. Danaher, quick to Pater. Cruz will free ball it back corner to Carlson. Adam swings again and cuts it home in the back right corner.
This is really created by Danaher. When she jump sets and gets that ball out quick, you can see the middle didn't even make an effort to get out there, and that's a one-on-one situation.
Johns Hopkins can play like this, the way they've played in sets 1 and 3. They will be really difficult to beat the rest of the week. Playing at a high level again here in the third. Jansky denied, kept up by Evans. Right back to Jansky, down the near line and in. Good placement there by the grad student out of Mukwanago in Wisconsin.
And that's why they're kind of hedging towards the line with the middle backs, but they are giving her line at the net. And she knows how to take advantage of that. It's a great shot.
We talked earlier about Danaher and Widener coming from Division I programs. Jansky coming from 2 different Division I programs, Eastern Michigan and Winthrop. She's an all-conference performer at Winthrop.
There's that middle back, that area 6 shot that I've been looking for the Wisconsin-Whitewater outsides to attack. When the team is running rotation, that is wide open. It's a great shot. You don't even have to hit it with that much pace.
Cruz serves it to Adam. In the middle for Swafford. Pushed by Proctor, back corner for Carlson. Right side Swafford, hard off the block. Passed by Evans. Jansky. And that block was trying to steer it in. I think it barely missed the near line, maybe by a couple of inches. The Blue Jays fans trying to change the call on the floor if they can. They can't do so, and a timeout is called by Johns Hopkins. That was close.
It is close. But the line judge didn't even hesitate, you know, and this is a very timely timeout by Matt Troy. You know, you've got a substantial lead, but you can start to feel that Wisconsin-Whitewater's chipping away at it. They're getting into a little bit more of a rhythm. You don't want them to close this gap.
Did you subscribe to the theory as a head coach? If you're losing by 8 or 9 or even double figures during the course of a set, even if you lose the set but you finish strong, that can be crucial going into the next set?
Absolutely. I thought you want to try to get some confidence back, get the rhythm. Now, there is another line of thinking that once you're losing it by that much, just kind of close up shop for that set, conserve your energy for the next set. But no, I kind of wanted to try to get something going on our side that takes confidence into the next set.
I've seen a lot of head coaches just kind of tune out towards the end of a set if they're down by a bunch, looking towards the next set with lineups and fiddling with their paper over on the bench.
Well, and you and I have both watched crazy situations happen too, because you know, you start chipping away at a big lead, and then all of a sudden, not only does the momentum come to your side, but the pressure kind of goes to the opposite side because that team knows they've been giving away a big lead. So you never know what can happen.
One of those examples was Laverne and Juniata yesterday. Juniata led by as many as 9 in set 4. Laverne forced extra points in set 4 in that match.
It was 24-20 Juniata. And Laverne tied it up to 20-20. Yeah. That's what's just nuts.
Right side Werner. That violation on the Warhawks. It's on Werner. And she's telling Stacy Boudreau, I never touched it. Stacy Boudreau, the head coach, who does have one challenge left. Hopkins has 0.
I mean, typically an athlete knows whether they got in the net or not. And, you know, it's interesting to see these relationships between players and coaches. And, you know, sometimes coaches still want to think about it, and other times they just will go, oh, yeah, it doesn't look like she touched that net at all. Look like she touched the blocker's hand.
Stacy Boudreau won't challenge, though.
I'm not sure I don't agree with her, because right now it's going to be really tough to win this set. It would help you to challenge and win the challenge, but if you don't, you're out of them. And she may need that one in the 4th set when we know that Matt Troy won't have any.
Good point. Good swing there by Werner. Tip out of the middle for Pater for the Blue Jays. Jansky, too long. No touch. All Blue Jays here in the 3rd. They cruised in set 1. They struggled in set 2. And Johns Hopkins back on track here in set 3. Bump set for Cruz. Jansky again. Dug out and controlled by Tuzinski. Bump set for Evans, and Jansky will send it high in the air once again. Tuzinski, dump play, Swak. Good read there by the junior setter, Helena Swak.
And she waited till the very last second to show that. Really deceptive. You know, when you play teams that run a 6-2, you always have to be ready for that, because that is the only way the setters can make themselves an offensive threat. And, you know, they typically have a good sense about the right time to do it.
Stacy Boudreau will use her final timeout here in set 3. There's a second look at the great setter kill by Helena Swak.
And again, because it's a perfect ball, that's when you least expect it. You know, if it's a tight ball, she can't dump it. If it's off the net, maybe they're reading that. But that was really a smart timing, smart time to do it, and very deceptive.
First ever matchup between these two programs, the Warhawks and the Blue Jays. Like we said earlier, we could have had a conference rematch in the semifinals between UW-Whitewater and UW-Oshkosh, but Johns Hopkins defeated Wisconsin-Oshkosh in 5 sets in the quarterfinals. So this would have been a much easier scout for Stacy Boudreau. I'm sure if it was UW-Oshkosh, you get out the old papers, the old scouts, a quick refresher for the team. Instead, you have to scout a Johns Hopkins program and team that you hadn't seen before. Yeah,
those coaches probably didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But I tell you what, there's something about tournament time. That's the 4th Cardinal sent today in this match. There's something about tournament time, though, that I know I always like to see fresh faces. Now, it would have been a little different because it would be the rubber match for those two, but it's fun to play different teams at championship. It makes it feel more like you are playing in a national champion tournament.
Tuzinski gets there. Carlson pops it off the block. Pater in the middle. Had a great set there. Right side, Werner. There was a touch. Point Warhawks.
That's one of the best high hand swings we've seen in this match. And Johns Hopkins has done such a tremendous job of getting double block up all over the net. That's the swing you got to look for.
Chloe Werner, another Division I transfer from Division I Akron out of the MAC. Left side Weinfurt, cross court to Carlson. Swafford, hard swing, popped across to Tuzinski. Pater trying to tool a block. Carlson has to play it far line. She gets it back, rolls it over and in.
That's a great shot, just going over the top of the block and down that line. The defense is more in the middle back area. And the setter's leaving, she's pulled up. So she has to get it past Cruz and keep it tight to the line. It's a great shot.
Overpass kill for Proctor. fifth-year grad student from Durand, Illinois. Pulls UW-Whitewater within 6. Johns Hopkins raced now to a 5-0 lead here in set 3. They haven't looked back since. Swak, that's a long back set to Swafford. The block for the Warhawks barely goes out of bounds, and it never touched Swafford. Set point, Johns Hopkins.
And the game for the Blue Jays, number 16, Jimmy Wagner. In the game on the serve, number 11, Jake Dinner. Set point, Blue Jays.
That was close. Lunging pass for Jansky. Weinberg denied. The Blue Jays block was really good in set 1. And overall, they were really good in set 3. 2-1. Johns Hopkins takes the lead. We go to set 4 from the Kreger Center here in Salem. Good balance again for the Blue Jays here tonight in Salem. They are paced by Simone Adam Debbie. 10 kills, 0 errors, 8 digs as well for Simone Adam.
What's impressive to me is the 0 errors. Remember, left sides have to take the junk balls, the out-of-system swings. And to make no errors in those situations, it's just an outstanding effort by her tonight.
She has 10 kills, Carlson 9, 8 for Widener. Only 18 swings for Widener. If you combine Adam and Widener, 18 kills, 0 errors in the first 3 sets here today. Johns Hopkins trying to get back to the title match. They won in 2019. Wisconsin-Whitewater trying to force a 5th. They need to win the 4th to get us to a 5th and stay alive here in Salem.
You know,
Statistically, what do you see here,
Yeah, what's
Debbie?
really interesting here is they are tied. They both have 36 kills. And yet, you know, we have a 2-1 lead for Johns Hopkins. So it just tells you they've been earning a lot of other points other ways. So they're ahead in blocks, they're ahead in service aces. But I think that's just an interesting stat to be up 2-1 and tied in kills. They've been more efficient.
That block number, that's a little surprising because UW-Whitewater coming into the tournament, the top blocking team in the country. And they've been outblocked 7-3 so far. Dix on the slide play for UW-Whitewater. Adam attacks for the Blue Jays. Free ball from Jansky to Johns Hopkins. Danaher left side for Adam. Once again, 0 attack errors for her. Jansky, powerful swing, her best swing of the day.
That was just great defensive transition, putting the ball right on Cruz so she could get a good tempo ball out there to Jansky. You know, I feel like even though the left sides for the Warhawks have been the dominant attackers and point scorers, really Johns Hopkins has done a good job of slowing them down. You don't stop those types of hitters. You only hope to slow them, and they've done that.
Widener crushes home another kill. That is her 9th on her 19th swing. 0 errors for the transfer from Division I Brown.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw so much of the left side in set 3 if we don't start to see more of the right side and maybe the middle in this set. It's a good cat and mouse by Matt Troy.
The serve by Yu. Serves it to Weinfurt. Attack by Jansky off the block right to Yu. Quick set to the middle. Painter rejected. Danaher got to it. Adam, her first attack error. Went over the block and out of bounds.
Did we just give her the broadcaster jinx?
I think so. It was going to be her or Widener.
Yeah, but that's exactly when you see those types of errors. That was an out-of-system swing. She was going for the right location. She missed. That happens on those junk balls.
Winner goes to the championship in 2 days here in Salem. An off day tomorrow. And here's Widener again. Reaching double figures in kills. That is her 10th.
Johns Hopkins, again, is just such a difficult defensive assignment for your block and your back line because they have 4 good pens. So you're constantly being stretched, as particularly your middle blockers.
Widener was the regional MVP in Baltimore. That's carried over to this week as well. Jansky, wide left. That's her 5th attack error. numbers are still good for Jansky tonight, but she hasn't been as consistent as she was in the quarterfinals.
And I think that has everything to do with the way Johns Hopkins has defended her.
Served by Swak, goes to Evans. Slide play for Proctor, kind of late to develop, but the defense couldn't get there for the Blue Jays.
On the serve, number 11, Jansky.
This is mostly about location right here because Tuzinski's quick. Just a well-placed ball.
Tight set to Adam, dug out by Evans. Weinfurt, diving dig for the freshman libero, Tuzinski. Left side, Adam again, pushes it off the block, and that's a block for the Warhawks. Only their 4th today. Much needed for Proctor and Werner.
Swak set that one a little bit tight, and the Warhawks just clamped down on it.
We're serve receive again for the Blue Jays. Joust to the net. Weinfurt sneaks it around the block. Lead is 2 for UW-Whitewater.
Another tough swing, tough out there, but she did a great job attacking high on the block. Scored the tool.
Matt Troy's seen enough. He'll call an early timeout here in the 4th. UW-Whitewater trying to force the Blue Jays to play a 5th for a 2nd straight day. Back with you from Salem, Virginia, the host town for the 2024 NCAA Division III National Volleyball Tournament. Semifinal Thursday. Wisconsin-Whitewater looking for their 15th win in a row. Johns Hopkins looking for their 25th win in a row. And right now, the Warhawks in control in set number 4, trying to send us to a 5th. Something has to give. Somebody's streak will end here today. Warhawks haven't lost since October 16th. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays haven't dropped a match since late September 21st. Played by Werner. Free ball for Evans. Somehow scraped it across. An air adjustment there for Adam. Tight to the middle to Proctor. Easy block there for the 6'1 senior Brooklyn Pater.
You know, the beginning of that last rally, they served Tuzinski. She had some trouble yesterday, especially late in the 4th, early in the 5th. A little bit of pressure, and she's handled the serve receive. They've gone after her today, and she's handled it really well.
Roxy Carr will serve for the Blue Jays, playing in her 127th career match of Los Altos in California. Side out on the kill for Werner. The transfer from Akron.
On the serve, number 22, Keepers.
Second libero available will serve. It is Keepers, who's come in some moments here today and has had some good moments on the service line. Side out for the Blue Jays. Pater on the kill.
And there again, credit to Tuzinski. That was a ball right on top of her setter so that she could run anything she wanted. And I think this is a good call getting the middle involved.
Running bump set by Cruz. Controlled dig for Tuzinski. Slapped over by Carlson. Lunging dig for Carr. Carlson attacks. Jansky controls. Weinfurt leaning back out of system. Tip out of the middle for Yu. Blocked by Dix. Yu swings. Yu sends it a little bit too deep. Attack air.
She was looking for high hands, and I think that's a great swing. I like that they came back trying to use the middle again. She just missed it. She's going for the right shot.
Carlson tools the block. Unofficially her 10th kill. She had 18 on Wednesday in the quarterfinals.
Blue Jays, number 16, Jillian Widener, number 11.
3 players with 10 for the Blue Jays. 10 for Adam, 10 for Carlson, 10 for Widener. All 3 playing well. Slide play Dix, punches it too far, past the back line. Warhawks continue to go to Dix on offense on the slide for the right side. Blue Jays cut the deficit down to 1. Trying to tie it right here. Right back to the slide for Dix. Overpass by Carr. Dix with the tip. Overpass for you. Options for Cruz for UW-Whitewater. And the block for the Blue Jays sails away out of bounds.
You're watching. I'm sorry. You're watching the difficult part about a 5-1. Right now, Cruz only has 2 attackers, and she used Dix a couple of times there. Didn't score. Sets the ball outside, and Jansky is able to put that ball away. But the bottom line is, these are the harder rotations, and if the ball's up there where she can actually dump it, and she's an offensive threat, it's better. But, that's what's hard about the 5-1, and it's also the opportunity for Johns Hopkins to double up on one of those 2 attackers.
That might have been the best block here tonight for UW-Whitewater. Only their 5th. They average over 3 per set. Only able to get 5 so far as we play here in the 4th. Tool in the block, Carlson. The outside hitters and the right side hitters for the Blue Jays have done a good job of using the block here tonight.
And I was just thinking, we probably haven't said enough about that because Wisconsin-Whitewater didn't stop being a good blocking team. Johns Hopkins is just attacking the block the right way.
Jansky off the chest of Adam. Adam will 3-ball it. Dix, Cruz attacks. Adam swings, lunging handle for Evans. Cruz with a set for Jansky. Rejected by Ewan Widener. Running swing for Jansky. Places it far line.
What a smart shot. I mean, she can't even see that part of the floor, but coming across her body like that with the off-speed shot. She knew where she was in the court, how far she was into the middle, so she knew she had that area to get around the block. It's just a really heads-up play.
Cross-court kill for Adam. Give her 11. Only 1 error. Two-time All-American out of Menlo Park in California. A long way from the Johns Hopkins campus in Baltimore. A long way from Salem. Service error for the Blue Jays, their 4th here tonight.
That's the kind of service error I, as a coach, could live with. Yu's been good at getting Wisconsin-Whitewater out of system during this match, and she missed it long. I don't like these errors in the net because you're not even giving the servicee anything to think about.
That's an ace for Cruz. Mishandled by Adam. Lead up to 4 for UW-Whitewater. Could the Blue Jays have to play a 5-setter for a 2nd straight day? Good serve again, near corner by Cruz, this time to Carlson. Another kill for Widener. Still 0 errors for her, 11 kills, 21 swings. Do you feel like they're setting her enough, Debbie?
I think they're doing a nice job of using all the pins. I love that high swing off the block past the left back defender.
Cruz, left side for Jansky. Diving handle for Swak. Overhead bump set to Zinski, leading Adam towards the net. Does a really nice job of avoiding the net and then tipping it away from the block.
That was a tough out for sure. The only one of the 4 pins that they really haven't used quite as much as Swafford. I wouldn't be surprised if they look for her here.
Now service errors kind of piling up for the Blue Jays. They are well within striking distance. Matt Troy had to burn an early timeout. They've been playing catch-up the entire 4th set. Right side, Adam hammers it home.
Well, so they're using the right side of the floor, but with their left side attacker. That's the rotation where she's over there and serve receive. But this is a different look. They're used to seeing her so much on the outside, and they gave her way too much line there.
Roxy Carr with the team pass, 43 aces, and she sails this one too deep. Her 33rd service error this year.
Hopkins is having to do a lot just to overcome their service errors in this set.
3 during a recent stretch. Lead is 3 right now for UW-Whitewater. Warhawks play in the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. UJ's out of the Centennial Conference. Left side Carlson, led by Jansky. That's off the antenna, out of bounds for Weinfurt. Good serve by Tuzinski. Weinfurt attacks. This one, too much zip on it for Carlson to handle. So a nice response for Weinfurt.
Yeah, and I love a setter going back to the hitter who just made the error. Just putting your confidence in them and going right back to them.
Serve receive for Carr. Right side for Swafford. Too long, no touch.
She's taken some great swings tonight. She just hasn't been quite as sharp as she was last night.
Swafford at 384 in the quarterfinals. That was her 5th attack error today. And then Carlson tips it right into the block. The easiest block here tonight for UW-Whitewater. Timeout, Johns Hopkins. That's Helena Swak, the setter, talking to Matt Troy. I know it looks bad sometimes for the attackers when you tip it right in the block, but sometimes the set is put in a bad spot for those attackers.
Yeah, I mean, what you're trying to do if you have a bad set is you're just trying to keep it in play. You know, you'll communicate. It is the responsibility of the hitter to do with what they get the best they can, and then if you want something different, you go back to your setter after the rally's over. But you know, I think the setters, all 3 of the setters on this floor have just done a tremendous job in this tournament. Not only do they set a good ball, a very hittable ball, they have really high volleyball IQ. You know, they know who the hot hand is. They know how to run a system. And so that's a testament to their coaches and how they've been trained. But, you know, you've got 2 different offenses out here, and yet they work, and the setters are what is making those offenses go.
This is our first of 2 semifinal matches here tonight. We'll take a look at the bracket. Upcoming match, Juniata, the top seed, 2-time defending champs, and 4-seed Hope. A rematch of last year's national championship match. Those 2 programs played earlier this year. It was back on September 13th. Juniata won in 4 sets in that match. Juniata has won the previous 3 against Hope. And they're meeting for a 3rd straight year in the national tournament. It was the quarterfinals 2 years ago. Out of the timeout, Carlson will use the block of the Warhawks. Side out for Johns Hopkins. If this one goes to a 5th, the Blue Jays will play a 5-setter for a 2nd straight day. And before the week, they had not played a 5-setter all year. And they could do it on back-to-back days. Carlson blocked this time. Dix and Cruz, the setter. Dix is so good defensively.
It'll be interesting if this does go to a 5th set to see the energy level for Johns Hopkins. There's no question that playing back-to-back 5-setters is tough, especially if you haven't done that in a long time. And it's, you know, this is a demanding weekend no matter what, but they know what the stakes are, and I think you'll see them rise to the occasion.
Side out on the kill for you. The recovery time as well, Debbie, because UW-Whitewater had the first match of the tournament. Johns Hopkins finished around 2.5, 3 hours later after the UW-Whitewater match was completed. So that recovery time is crucial when you're playing back-to-back days. Dix able to sneak it inside the antenna. Adam dug out by Longden. Jansky rolls it out of the reach of Danaher. This is Braunschweig on the service line for the Warhawks. They are the first to 20 here in set 4. Free ball from Adam. Long set by Cruz. Jansky hammers it home.
Well, Braunschweig served and came in and was standing exactly where that tip went. I think she got coached up on exactly what the defense was going to need to do.
Tough serve to handle. Braunschweig the ace. Warhawks by 7.
I don't believe she's been in the match yet, and she's come in, and it's primarily, I think, as a serving sub, and unbelievable what that serve looks like. So good on Tazinski right there, getting that one up. The bottom is dropping out of the ball.
Widener still without an error. That's her 12th kill. That gives her 32 now for the tournament. Gives some life to the Blue Jays. Down 6 late in the 4th. They do lead the match, though, 2-1. Trying to finish off the Warhawks in 4. Need to come back to do it, though. Cruz sets up Jansky, rolls it in. Another kill for Jansky. Now she's heating up. That is her 13th.
Good time to come in with a little off speed. Tool off the block.
That matches her kill number from Wednesday. 13 in back-to-back days for the grad student. Widener, her first attack air. And it gives UW-Whitewater set point in the 4th. Tough to handle for Tuzinski. Adam the swing, lunging dig by Weinfurt. Jansky thunders it home for UW-Whitewater.
Did you really expect anything less?
This one has been back and forth. Great first set for Johns Hopkins. UW-Whitewater control the second. Blue Jays control the third. Warhawks control the 4th. Who will control the 5th? We're back to Selah after these messages. Warhawks grad student Elena Jansky with a fine finish to set 4, playing like a first-team All-American. She has her 3rd straight double Debbie. She's really heating up. 16 kills, 11 digs for Jansky.
She does it all for this team, and you know they're going to rely on her heavy in this 5th set. She's that type of athlete that wants the ball. She wants the opportunity to score the point for her team, and she's just done it in every way today. And in some of the more difficult circumstances, you're seeing her take some out-of-system swings and score with them, and that's what makes her an exceptional left-side hitter.
She started the week 19th in the country in kills per set. You've been pointing this out every set. The kills have been identical. They are still identical. 48 for the Blue Jays, 48 for the Warhawks through 4 sets.
And look at the digs.
59 apiece, yeah.
It's just a tight match, and you couldn't ask for anything more in the first of the semifinals in this national championship.
Winner plays for a title in 2 days against the winner of Hope and Juniata. That match is scheduled for 7:30 Eastern. That will not start our time as we go to a 5th in our first of 2 semifinals tonight. Wisconsin-Whitewater looking for their first championship appearance since 2007. Stacy Boudreau was the head coach back then as well. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays looking for their first title trip since 2019. That was the year they won it under their current head coach, Matt Troy. First of 15 wins, you need to win by 2. Once again here in set 5, and it's Jansky, like you said, Debbie. They're going to go to her a ton here in the 5th.
Well, I think both teams are. They're going to go to the hitters that got them here. You're not going to see incorporating any kind of creative offense right now. What I do think is going to matter is who wins the serve and pass in this 5th set.
Great serve by Braunschweig, who's been really good on the service line here down the stretch. She handles there. Cruz back to Jansky. Out of bounds, attack air.
I love that after that error, she went right into her team and was pumping them up. You know, she's not sulking about her mistake. That's leadership.
UW-Whitewater has been to 5 sets 3 times this year. 2 of those matches came against their big rivals, UW-Oshkosh. Ironically enough, Johns Hopkins played 5 sets yesterday against UW-Oshkosh. That's how they got here. Bump set to Jansky. Block was waiting for, goes around it to Carlson. Widener from the right side, denied by Jansky and Proctor. Carlson off the block. Good recovery on the backside by Weinfurt. Jansky rolls it to Carr. Carlson goes off the block. Tuzinski touched it. I think maybe the block was going to go out of bounds, and she doesn't. It would have been close.
Yeah, and when in doubt, you play the ball. It's worse to watch it land in.
Aubrey Cruz, the 6'2" sophomore setter, sends it to Roxy Carr. Widener from the right, and Widener slams it down back line.
She's consistently been looking for that high line shot going, catching the top of the block and getting past the left back. This one was even more line seam, but that's just smart. She sees the floor and what's open.
13th kill for Widener, only 1 attack air. Aggressive serve by you, sails a little bit too deep. That is 7 service errors, and a lot of them in the previous 2 sets for the Blue Jays.
I would guess that Matt Troy has given him the green light to step back there and be aggressive. Who wins serve and pass also includes you've got to be able to get your opponent out of system, even if you have a couple errors.
Widener denied. Weinfurt and Proctor. Block number 7 for UW-Whitewater.
They've just gotten better and better as a block as we've made it our way through this match.
Carlson blocked away. Proctor in on another. Hannah Proctor stepping up big. It is her 5th year in the UW-Whitewater program. She helps the Warhawks take a 3-point lead here in the 5th. Well, these 2 programs want to play for that hardware in a couple of days here in the Kreger Center. We're in the 5th, our first of 2 semifinal matches. Warhawks trying to get back to the championship match for the first time since '07. Blue Jays trying to get back there for the first time since 2019. It is all UW-Whitewater so far in the 5th. First of 15 wins. Weinfurt hammers it in. UW-Whitewater by 4.
I like the way the Warhawks are approaching this. Do the things that got you here. They've been good blocking team. They've been going to the left sides and letting them do work.
Jansky scrapes it off the tape. She had 2 service errors earlier. Barely got that one across. Widener rejected again. Proctor again.
They have absolutely elevated their block at the most critical time.
Proctor alongside Weinfurt. That's 3 in a row that Proctor has been part of for UW-Whitewater. And a big side out for the Blue Jays.
It's a clutch swing for Carlson. Again, I think both teams are going to feed the players who have gotten them to this point. They are the ones who want the ball. They want to be the ones to make those plays.
Serve reception for Jansky. Long run for Cruz. Weinfurt pops it off the block to Swak. Overhead bump set to Zinski. Carlson had a run towards it. Proctor and Werner. Of course it's Proctor on another double block for UW-Whitewater.
It's like they're the blocking team they were yesterday, and I don't know where they were for the first 3 sets, but no better time than the present.
2 teams will change sides here in the 5th, and there's actually been a side of the floor, Debbie, that's been more dominant during the course of the day.
Every set has been won on the side that Johns Hopkins is moving over to and been won dominantly. I told you, if I was me, I'd want to finish on that side, but I tell you, Wisconsin-Whitewater has come out and just done all the things that they needed to do to be in a position to win this match.
First ever meeting between these two programs. Keepers with the dig. Right side for Werner, slams it in.
Great swing by Werner, but Keepers was very intentional with that first ball. You know, they're running system offense out of defense. That's big time.
Keepers, the second libero, has had some good moments during the course of the match here tonight. Serves it to the Blue Jays libero, Tuzinski. Lunging dig initially there by Cruz, but UW-Whitewater couldn't get to it past the back line.
In this fifth set, there's no lead great enough that you can relax.
Every set tonight has been lopsided. Johns Hopkins won by 12 in set 1. UW-Whitewater, they won by 9 in set 2. Johns Hopkins won by 8 in set 3. UW-Whitewater prevailed by 9 in set 4. 5-point lead for the Warhawks. Now a 6-point lead for the Warhawks in the fifth.
That was a great up by Tuzinski, but it has been the Wisconsin-Whitewater team that has been able to be the aggressor. They have been running system offense and taking aggressive swings, whereas Johns Hopkins just seems to be trying to get the ball back. It's just a tough swing right there.
The push, good placement, creative shot selection there for Simone Adam, the junior. Steered ahead by Evans, slide for Dix, but the Blue Jays read it. You got her hands on it.
Yeah, that set was left a little inside, and great job by Johns Hopkins staying in and closing off that angle shot she was looking for.
No timeout yet from Stacy Boudreau. Her team still leads by 4. Left side Weinfurt, side out for UW-Whitewater. Another good response.
I've been so impressed with the way the pin attackers are attacking for Wisconsin-Whitewater, because these are aggressive swings. They're just catching the lines.
16 kills, 41 attacks for Weinfurt. She will serve it to the Blue Jays. Goes to the freshman Tuzinski. Adam is blocked away. Abby Dix, the top blocker for UW-Whitewater. Timeout called by Johns Hopkins.
The mentality has just been so aggressive from the Warhawks. They came out serving tough. They came out like these swings are so aggressive. They are not playing safe. And then the block has just been a difference maker.
This block continues to be impressive for UW-Whitewater. 14 plus blocks in 4 of their previous 5 matches coming in. And we've seen in the previous 2 sets why this is the top blocking team in Division III.
You know, yesterday they were on fire early and really got in the heads, I think, of the Emory attackers. It took them a while to get to this point, but they're dominating.
A lot of Proctor and then Abby Dix right there. At 165 entering today. Broke the single-season program record in the quarterfinals, previously held by Kirsten Anderson, who broke it a year ago. Dix, only a sophomore, will be one of the best blockers in Division III for a couple of years coming up.
And I tell you what, her offense will get better and better to complement that blocking.
First to 15 wins. Another block. Cruz and Dix. And if you're Abby Dix, you can't help but smile. 2 points away from going to the championship match. Service error at a pivotal time for Weinfurt. A glimmer of hope for the 2-seed Johns Hopkins.
This fifth set for Wisconsin-Whitewater has looked like the entire match did yesterday. They've just done everything right.
There's a line violation on the serve. I saw that coming. Danaher crossed the service line. The line judge was all over it. And the Blue Jays give the point to UW-Whitewater.
You know, I have to think that that's a mental error out of fatigue. That is just not an error you expect out of a graduate setter of her caliber.
Match point for UW-Whitewater. Bump set by Danaher. Blocked away, Widener. And for the first time since 2007, Wisconsin-Whitewater gets a chance to play for a national championship.
That was a great overall match. I don't know that I ever expected that every set would be a landslide win.
You know, Debbie, it was such a close match. We talked about the numbers, right? I mean, the dig numbers were identical. The kill numbers were identical through 4 sets. But it was a wacky match because every single set was dominated by one team. Hard to figure out.
I didn't expect it in the fifth set. I really thought the fifth set would be highly contested, toe-to-toe, right to the end. Somebody was going to make a couple extra plays, but I tell you what, the mentality that Wisconsin-Whitewater came out with right there, that's championship level right there.
The first loss for Johns Hopkins since September 21st when they lost to MI.